As much as we all loved WKRP for its clever writing, memorable characters, and catchy theme song, we also have to admit it wasn't always smooth sailing behind the scenes. Like any long-running show, WKRP had its share of bloopers, flubs, and outtakes. Selling himself short, Les Nessman, the diligent newsman of WKRP, is known for his admittedly impressive achievement of winning the Buckeye Newshawk Award 5 times. But in a memorable bathroom scene from the first season's Fish Story episode, Les appears to have a lapse in memory regarding his proudest claim. Instead of confidently stating he's a 5-time winner, he stumbles and says he's only won the award twice. It's a funny moment that showcases Les's endearing quirks and reminds us that even the most accomplished individuals can have an off day. Marital Issues. The ever-bumbling Les Nessman is notorious for his lack of social graces and dating woes, which are often played for laughs. However, in a surprising twist, the actor who portrayed Les, Richard Sanders, was actually married in real life. In a scene from the In Concert episode, eagle-eyed viewers might notice Sanders forgot to remove his wedding ring for the shot. Pew Pew. One of the most unforgettable moments from the first season sees our favorite radio DJ, Johnny Fever, taken hostage by an aspiring disc jockey who robs a stereo store. In a bid to prove that the gun he's wielding is empty, the delusional thief fires a shot at a nearby speaker. The bullet hole is clearly visible on the speaker, which then topples over. But there's a small hitch. When the speaker falls, the bullet hole falls off with it. While the store owner must have been in a state of panic during the incident, at least he can breathe a sigh of relief knowing the damage to his equipment wasn't as bad as he thought. Drop the needle. Diehard WKRP enthusiasts may have picked up on a peculiar detail while watching their favorite radio DJs spin vinyls live on air. If you have a perceptive eye, you might have noticed the records on the turntables occasionally experience some minor hiccups. Perhaps the record is spinning at the wrong speed, or even completely backwards. But there's one moment from the pilot that'll make any vinyl aficionado cringe harder than a deep scratch on a precious LP. It's when our beloved Dr. Johnny Fever is playing a record, but shockingly, the needle is resting on the label instead of the groove. Another audio mishap. One of the most blatant blunders made by the WKRP DJs is when the record playing suddenly switches in between shots. In the classic episode Turkeys Away, there's a prime example of this mistake. As the camera pans over to Venus Flytrap and then back to Johnny, you can see the label on the record abruptly changing from yellow to black. It's a noticeable slip-up that can take you out of the moment, but hey, nobody's perfect. Real-world Momentos. In the late 70s, when WKRP in Cincinnati first hit the small screen, radio DJs across the country were thrilled to see a show that depicted their beloved industry in a way that had never been done. The series was so popular among actual radio DJs, they started sending in bumper stickers, posters, and other swag to decorate the walls of the TV radio station's studio. This led to a fantastic display of music memorabilia and helped create an even more authentic atmosphere for the show. From rock to jazz, the walls were adorned with stickers and posters of different genres, making it a haven for music lovers. Needless to say, the show was a hit with radio DJs and music enthusiasts alike. Going up, in one of the early, wackier episodes of WKRP, appropriately titled Hoodlum Rock, Johnny Fever finds himself tasked with babysitting a group of rowdy rockers in a hotel room. Things quickly spiral out of control, culminating in the rockers tossing the hapless bellhop out of the window. As they survey the aftermath of their shenanigans, the rockers turn to Johnny and ask, "What floor are we on?" With a sly grin, Johnny deadpans, "First." Unfortunately for him, sharp-eyed fans have pointed out that the level of the antique store sign outside the window suggests they're actually on a higher floor. Poor bellhop indeed. At least he wasn't the one caught in Johnny's fib. The Great Midwest Palm Trees? In an amusing turn of events, Herb Tarlick's family is chosen to appear on the reality show Real Families during WKRP in Cincinnati's 3rd season. As part of the documentary's filming, footage is shot outside of Herb's house and during his daily commute. Astute viewers might spot a curious detail in the background of these scenes: palm trees lining the roadside. Of course, this is because the show was filmed in Hollywood, a location far removed from the Ohio setting of WKRP. It's a sly nod to the artifice of television production and a reminder that sometimes reality TV isn't always as real as it seems. This one goes to 71. The second season of WKRP in Cincinnati saw Venus Flytrap, the smooth-talking DJ, offered a coveted job as a program director at another radio station. While that's not the source of any goofs, the real hilarity ensues when Herb Tarlick, WKRP's own bumbling sales manager, tries to ride Venus's coattails out of the station by claiming he's been hired by Channel 71. Viewers in the know might spot the problem with this statement. UHF channels only go up to 69. While it's likely the writers deliberately chose this number to highlight Herb's ignorance and desire to piggyback on Venus's success, it's a fun detail that nitpicky fans can relish in. Number games. WKRP in Cincinnati was known for its comedic moments, but it also had its share of serious episodes, such as Straight from the Heart. In this episode, Herb is facing potential heart problems, and the rest of the crew does their best to persuade him to get medical tests. This leads to a tense bet between Bailey and Herb, where the outcome will determine whether or not he seeks medical attention. Bailey draws a card and declares it to be a 4, but viewers later notice that when the card is shown on screen, it's actually a 2. Perhaps Bailey was simply caught up in the moment and misread the card, or maybe she was trying to give Herb a bit of false hope. Either way, the scene adds to the tension and drama of an already gripping episode. Cincinnato. As seen in this screen grab, Venus Flytrap liked to occasionally rock a jacket emblazoned with the word Cincinnato. We're not sure where that is, but Cincinnati is spelled with an I, my guy. But who knows, maybe Cincinnato was an endearing nickname old Flytrap had for the nasty natty. Bandaged Up For Good. During the filming of the 2-part pilot, actor Richard Sanders, who played Les Nessman, accidentally cut his finger and had to wear a bandage on air. But instead of hiding the bandage, Sanders decided to incorporate it into his character's persona, making it a recurring feature in every episode. Les Nessman was known for being a bit of a hypochondriac and constantly worrying about his health and safety, so the bandage only added to his quirks. Fans of the show began to eagerly anticipate how Les would injure himself or what ailment he'd come down with next, all while wearing his signature bandage. Despite the accidental nature of its inception, the bandage became an integral part of his character. Wait till you see the interior. In the second season episode Put Up or Shut Up of WKRP, Venus Flytrap delivers a memorable line to Herb, who is known for his tasteless fashion sense. He quips, quote, "Somewhere out there's a Volkswagen with no seats." It's interesting to note that Herb actually wore a suit made from Volkswagen seat covers on the show, which adds a new layer of humor to the reference. What's in a name? In a revealing interview with the Cincinnati Enquirer, Hugh Wilson, the creative mastermind behind WKRP in Cincinnati, shared an interesting tidbit about the show's name. Wilson disclosed that the acronym WKRP actually stands for something quite unexpected: crap. As to why he chose Cincinnati as the show's setting, it was a strategic decision that perfectly complemented the call sign. It just goes to show that sometimes even the most innocent-sounding names can have a hidden meaning. Now it's time to hear from you. Which one of these errors and blunders was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below.